Welcome to Into the Pit, Bald News' officially unofficial podcast for The Pit on HBO. I'm Jim.
I'm Aaron.
And we're back for the 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. hour, the 12th hour of the shift, the final hour, season 2, episode 12. It's more colloquially known as the final sprint, the 11th hour. Yeah, this is it. Everybody's going home after this one, including us. We're done. Pack it up. Yep, put down the IVs, Jim. Put down the syringes.
Meeting Jim in the park with a cooler of beer, and we're going to just unpack everything that happened.
Doesn't seem like it.
Mateo
Although night shift is showing up. Who showed up?
Yeah, Mateo's here. Mateo showed up. Haven't seen this first time we've seen Mateo all season. Dr. Chin showed back up. Unflappable as always. I love that he's literally walking into the wall of the hurricane. He's like, oh, it's a little windy today.
Does notice. How could he not notice? There are beds piled up in the hallway, the entryway that he just walked in.
Yeah, you got to notice, like Dana's talking about the waiting room like it's a zombie outbreak waiting to happen. But I think it's interesting. Are they showing? Is Dr. Chin essentially getting us to visualize what Robbie was like when he was just out of med school and his residency? Because that's my understanding is he is the nighttime attending, but he was essentially Dr. Langden maybe a year or two ago. And because he's just, I guess, feels like he's younger and he just hasn't maybe have been beaten down, or maybe he just has a better temperament for it. He's got a better way of detachment, but there's a whole level of unflappability that he has that a lot of the Day-siders seem to not.
Yeah, him and Joy should get along pretty well, I think. Joy is just like, peace, I'm out. I feel like this doctor does that too.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. I also like the idea that, like, I'm starting to realize that the disaster this season wasn't the cyber attack. It wasn't really the water slide collapse. The disaster is all of these minor things ratcheting up the tension between the doctors, and their unresolved trauma bubbling forth is the actual disaster, because Dr. Robbie looks like he might spontaneously combust by the end of this episode. He has just got, and to give you an idea, like my doctor drama, I usually have things like, Robbie this, Robbie that. I've got like 4 different sections titled Robbie v somebody. Robbie is in a lot of conflict with people this episode. Oh yeah. And it's about to do him in. It's about to bash him in the head.
Yeah, no, everybody's having a hard go of it. I mean, McKay and Santos and Whitaker and Santos and Garcia, and I mean, Dr. Al now knows things that she didn't know an episode ago that are causing her to have conflicts. It's a mess in that place. And it's weird to me when Robbie's just like, I had this all on lock. This was all going great. Good luck, Dr. Al, trying not to run this place into the ground. Because I don't feel like it was going great under Robbie. Like it was functional, but barely.
Yeah. And I think more to the point that it's Robbie be healthier if he would embrace. I know it was said in a very kind of hostile way, but the idea that no one is crucial to the running of a machine. It must have been tough. It's like, yeah, we lost your mentor. He was twice what you were, essentially, and we were fine. This place, and I'm not even exempt to myself. The place I took fucked off for like 6 months, and the place was fine. Like, there's a little bit of it's almost like an ego attachment that's fucking with Robbie, and I clocked all these things talking about all of his Zen motorcycle bullshit. Like these are lessons that he is overlooking in his own life. Also, I kind of turned the corner on this last week, but I feel like some of this Death Omen stuff around Robbie is just to beat him over the head that what he's trying to do is a bad idea.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll have a double attending ER going forward. Like maybe Dr. Al Hashimi will be a permanent addition because
it could be fun
of the proposal she puts in place.
Yeah, I've come to like her this season. as an intruder in this space that was so comfortable in the first season. Yeah, I've really come to like her quite a bit. I do think it would be good, the tension between their different approaches to medicine in future seasons. Yeah, a lot of fun to be had there.
Like, you asked me, do I want Dr. Al replace Robbie? I'm like, no, absolutely not. Do I want Dr. Al as a permanent foil to spar with Robbie and to push him toward on his some of his cynicism in places, push him in some of his cowboyism in places? Yes. I think that would be. I think this season has only been improved having that dynamic and interaction in the ER.
Yeah, I do wonder sort of what is the future for Robbie. And I'm sure once we get, 3 more episodes into this and we've seen the whole season, we can talk more about it. But in a show that is so focused on just this one location and just this one 15-hour period, how could you show a guy like Robbie going through the emotional ringer and coming out the other side of it? Like, you can't show any of the conversations he has to have with a therapist. You can't show any of the work he's doing on himself, except for these extremely isolated, like, one day out of his entire year. That's really hard to paint a full, clear picture. You need many, many seasons, I would think. We'd have to go to like season 7 or something before we finally understand Robbie is healed and how that happened, if that's where they're going.
Yeah, it's a skill. Like, we talked about this, I think David Simon is very good at we talked about this a lot on The Deuce, where that story took place over like 3 or 4 acts and they were all separated by 5 to 10 years. And we talked about like tossing the ball to the future. Like, you gotta be able, if you're going to do that big a time jump, you've got to leave the viewer with an indelible idea of where every character is. And not just that, but their momentum, their trajectory that they're on, so that when year 10 comes rolling around, there's very few surprises of where people are at, or when people aren't at where you'd think they would be. There, you need to spend some story time telling, like, well, what went wrong? What happened? What engine failure caused this guy not to get into the orbit he was supposed to? I think that they could do that here. But I will say that the challenge is a lot harder. Like, you don't have like months that you can develop and then toss it for 10 years. But maybe that's equivalent to having a day in a year, having a couple months in a decade, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, because it makes it really hard with the location specific thing too. Like, you can't leave this hospital, apparently. I would be okay if they broke that rule eventually. And
it's like quicksand.
Like, for the next 3 episodes, I would be cool if Robbie did leave the hospital and we spent 3 weeks on the road with him, just figuring himself out. I would love that, but that doesn't seem to be the format of this show. So how do they do it within the format?
I mean, like if you would love it and like the average Pitt fan would love it, then why is the format a barrier to doing that?
Right. I don't know if it is. So far, they haven't done it. If they
It'd be cool for them,
it'll be interesting
to experiment with that.
But who knows?
You could do something even like one season is going to be 1 hour out of every shift over the next 3 months. So you could see like, because I think they're also very good at like showing, Robbie's quoting Hawaiian proverbs and Robbie's quoting Buddhist philosophy and Robbie's quoting Latin and all this and that. They're just snippets, but you can look them up and you can see like, oh, he got that from. I feel like he could drop some, kind of therapy point of views, or maybe lean more into the Eastern philosophy or whatever. And just by the way he talks and by the way he reacts to things, you could you could draw those conclusions about where he's at. But it is tricky. For sure. I'm building a lot of faith in this storytelling team.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm excited to see what's coming up for this show. But we still have more time this season. So, getting ahead of myself.
Lots of people having to deal with the hypocrisy of their actions from season 1 and 2. Not just Robbie, but you also got Dana, you got Langden,
talk about her.
Increasingly Santos. Do you want to get into the main outline? Because that's topic numero uno, my friend.
We do. I kind of saw this coming. I guess I wasn't predicting like this will be the season. I was questioning, will this be the season that breaks Dana? And I think we're there, man. I mean, Dana is falling apart as much as Robbie is falling apart. And I'm really excited to see how that's dealt with.
Yeah. Maybe she just needs to take 3 months off every year.
Yeah.
That's her solution.
Great.
Or maybe the hospital administration needs to, but I don't know, man. It's tough because like I've been, this show has stimulated an interest into like, because man, it's been a while since we've really talked about healthcare, I think, as a nation. There's been other things on our mind. So I've been looking, I've been, starting to read and listen to some podcasts and it just seems like everywhere you go, it's like, it's the fucking insurance companies and profit seeking. And yeah, that's definitely something. It's the greedy hospital administrators. Yeah, but they're dealing with the pressures of trying to make a profit in a for-profit system, and they'll get fired if they don't. And there's even some people that like there's some nurses and doctors that are the problem. American doctors on average, I think, get paid twice as much as their peers in other developed nations. Is maybe part of the problem is that we've got this system that's made doctors very expensive to make, and they've got high salaries, and that's just the whole system is all fucked up. And the other thing that's a truism is like if you work in any part of this system, you hate every other person, every other part. Like if you work in insurance, you fucking hate doctors and hospital administrators. If you're a hospital administrator, you fucking hate insurance adjusters and doctors. If you're a doctor, you fucking hate insurance companies, your patients, and the hospital administrators, because it's just everything is just so fucked up and is just held together by just professional commitment and calling.
Yeah.
But
I feel like that's true of any business where every department hates every other department, because there's always a barrier to what that department needs to do, wants to get done. So
especially a business that's literally life and death and something that's been dysfunctional since I was a child, and we just keep, sticking fingers into the dike rather than, all right, what do we got to do to like solve this problem?
Yep. No, it's more messed up in the healthcare for sure.
Let's get into the outline. Yes, no?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we're going to start. Our first patient is the drunked up and coked up frat golf bro. I'm not going to give him the dignity of a name.
I don't know his name.
This guy's the worst, right? Like, I guess I buy the fact that you don't remember any of your actions past, like, but his idea of like, well, I mean, you yourself said I wasn't, in my own right mind. And she's like, McKay's like, literally, yeah, dumbass. But if you're drunk and you hit somebody, you're still charged with whatever injuries or loss of life. You can get a murder charge. You choked. You tried to choke out a nurse, brother. You're in serious trouble, and he just cannot process it. He's got that affluenza illness that they were talking about a decade ago, where it's like, well, you can't hold him responsible. He's been rich and privileged all of his life. It wouldn't be fair.
Yeah, I had a lot more sympathy for him before he reacted to McKay, because once he starts cursing her out, I'm just like, oh, this isn't a guy who was affected by the psychotoxin that he accidentally created in his brain. This is just a result. This is who he is. Like, he has obvious anger problems.
I think he rolls with a bunch of sociopaths, because this is the guy whose friend came and like checked on him and was like, he'll be fine for like 3 hours, right? Well, now you're going to come back and he's probably going to be in handcuffs. But yeah, this is these people are morally and spiritually sick. And I don't know. It's bad. It's sometimes it's bad to let people run around with no consequences, doing whatever they want and ingesting whatever chemical and breaking whatever rule and feeling like that's just the way things are.
And then having him blame McKay for "you're going to ruin my life." No, dude. The moment you stepped out and started doing cocaine and booze on the golf course beyond your capacity to handle it, that's what ruins your life here, not me.
Yeah, no one made you drink. No one made you do the birdie bumps. And he's like, everything's just minimizing. It's like, you didn't get drunk and did cocaine. I did some birdie bumps. I was having fun on the... And he's just a gross dude. And here's the tragedy. How do you feel about a nurse who was scared that she got attacked by a patient and resolved never to do it again? So she walks around with 4 milligrams of Versed in her pocket, ready to dispense street nurse justice. And that being a thing that might get her to lose her nursing license, might even get her in trouble, might even get McKay or Robbie in trouble, since they seem to be willing to fudge some paperwork to go along with the fiction. But like the system ain't protecting them adequately. Obviously, Emma's been attacked twice today. So like,
it's really hard for me in this situation though, because she didn't press charges. That's the thing that complicates this beyond what it should be. Because if she's just scared because some dude attacked her and it could easily happen again because the system doesn't protect her, I'm kind of with her. But she doesn't use the system. The system could have at least taught this guy a fucking lesson, but she didn't want to go. So it's really complicated. And then you look at what she's going through the lens of this sexual abuse victim in the previous episodes. And you're like, well, do I blame her for maybe not wanting to use the system? No, I understand that. So why do I give Dana such a hard time about it? I don't know. It's very complicated. I don't want to blame her too much, but she's also not free of blame either.
I try not to blame anybody for what they do or do not do in terms of like involving themselves in the system, getting police. It's like there's definitely a right thing to do in the terms of what's right for society. And then there's also what's right or what's difficult for the individual. But like, I think one of the reasons that Dana is being torqued up is a lot of the things she's saying to Robbie are also apply to her. Yeah. Like, oh, do what Emma. You say, do what I say, not what I do. I mean, she's setting that exact situation up with poor Miss Emma. Like, she even says it. Well, if you don't stand up to protect us, who will? Well, Dana, you're the fucking head badass nurse here, and you let Doug Driscoll belch you and didn't show up for court. So like, I mean, obviously the job sucks. Obviously it's a lot of stress. Obviously this has been a tough day, but I think she's kind of stewing in a lot of the same juices that Robbie's stewing in. Agreed. And them venting at each other is just not the way to get anywhere with this.
Yeah, that's rough. I kind of like what she's trying to do with Emma here, or what I think she's trying to do with Emma. She realizes that her response to this Doug Driscoll thing was not actually super healthy, and it's not productive. It's not going to help anything. Yeah. And she's, I think, trying to tell Emma, don't make the same mistakes I've made, without telling her that I made a bunch of mistakes on this, right? Just guiding her, pushing her toward the direction she kind of wishes that she would have taken, or
right. It's a lot like being a parent, right? Being a mentor is like,
yes, yeah.
Hey, half the reason of doing this is so you can do things better than I did.
Right.
But also people want to do things their own way, and there's a reason you didn't do it that way. It's because it's hard sometimes. So
yeah.
What do you is it a crazy idea to have one head nurse, or maybe 2 or 3 head nurses per shift, that have, like, in a case of emergency, break 4 mgs of Versed that they can only use when a patient's getting violent? To me, that seems like a pretty fucking good idea. The need a doctor to, like, write you a prescription to tranquilize somebody who's actively choking out. Also, they didn't really say it because it's like all about the she's walking around to 4 milligram, the 4 mics of Versed. But she also delivered a thunderous right hand of justice to this guy's face, right?
Yeah.
Like, Dana beat this guy's ass down before she gave him the shot in the ass.
For sure. I don't know if we need Versed in everybody's pocket, but we could just have Donnies in every department. I'm not saying everybody. Right?
You could have what?
We could have Donnies in every department. Let's just get a couple of Donnies, stash them around the hospital somewhere, let him go to town on them if they really need to.
Like just roving Donnies. They're just like the goons on a hockey squad, you know? It's like, hey, we got a drunk patient getting frisky. Send in Donnie. He puts on his helmet and he just skates out there.
Love it.
Could be. We have Ahmed too. Like that's the other thing is like,
I haven't seen him in a while.
Ahmed, and also he's on the far corner of the department. And if you're at the other thing and you're a little 5'0" Latina nurse getting the shit choked out of you, that might not be close enough. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways to look at this, but it is a tragedy that this guy can walk around, do whatever he wants, and if Emma doesn't press charges, he will get away with it. But Dana, who is just trying to act and sell, because that's the thing, is like, even if, I guess the whole problem is she shouldn't have the thing in the first place. But like, to me, because I thought before I understood that she had actually used medicine, I thought that she was going in trouble for punching. And I'm like, how the fuck? This is open and shut self-defense. This guy is choking your patient. Any continuum of force that's ever been written will say that a person of Dana's size and structure walking in, because the other thing, they made this golf bro out to be kind of a monster. He looks like he's 6 foot. He's built. He's got muscles. Absolutely, just going in with like a strike to like that. She'd probably honestly be justified using like a nightstick or something, because there's such a huge physical disparity, and he is using he's lethally attacking this other nurse. So, but then I found out, she's actually keeping some sedatives, so this will never happen to her again.
Yeah.
Oof.
It's rough.
Yeah, and then I do love him just completely crashing out and fucking everybody. Then he sees the officer like take note, like this is the guy who's going to get a statement from you later. He might freelance some things, screaming at the staff and acting abusive, but he's fucking himself, and good for him. Good. I hope we stay these 3 extra hours just so I can see this guy's. And McKay, after he blows her all this shit and she's about to be like, yeah, fuck this guy, but then she's like, you know what, I should try. She offers him, and the look at disgust with rehab. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's because it's for people beneath him, right? Rehab isn't for his class of person. It's for.
I hate to tell you, your class of person has special rehab facilities. They're really, really nice, dude. It's like kind of nice. And you can afford it. That's the other nice thing. Anyway, so that's drunk frat brew. There'll definitely be more. We didn't even scratch the surface of the drama that this generated, but this sets the stage. Let's move on to a very brief update on Mrs. Azur Mindy. She brought in her child, Micah, who had a temperature of over 105 degrees. She tried to wander in front of a cement truck to end it all. Dr. Al saved her, and she is still in shock and processing what's going on.
Yep. I don't think there's a lot to talk about there yet. We'll see how that turns out, though.
I did like seeing a person, like, once again trying to calm down the kids, like when people are like, oh, the husband just went right upstairs, huh? Ooh. Like, it's not unheard of for a parent coming and wanting to check on the child first. We can't jump to conclusions, even though the conclusions you could jump to are probably going to be accurate. Have we learned nothing from this season? I don't know. And then what did you make of, first of all, we found out Dr. Al has kids. I don't know if we knew that before. She might have made reference to it in all the Baby Jane Doe and Kandahar hospital disaster stuff. But was that a rebuke to McKay? But in a very, very soft, indirect way.
Maybe.
Like I can see where you're coming from, but you really shouldn't.
Yeah, maybe not just yet. Yeah, I think you're right.
I feel like just from my standpoint, parenthood's made me both. I'm more understanding of things I didn't understand before I was a parent, but I'm also a hell of a lot more judgmental about kids and parenting than I was, in terms of there's definitely ways you can do it wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think there's any one way you can do it right as a parent. There are myriad ways you could do things wrong.
For sure.
So. Next up, Oliver Haas. He lives out in a rural community, and he started having shortness of breath, difficulty of breathing. His son drives him at a high-speed chase to the hospital 90 minutes away, and he arrives at the hospital aspirating pink foam.
It's not good.
Not good, Jim.
I didn't know this guy's last name until you put it in your notes, and I picked that up for the outline. Is it any coincidence that the episode where we find out how much Whitaker loves avocados, we've got a name like Oliver Haas coming in?
Well, I was thinking like maybe an ice cream joke, Haagen-Dazs, but
no, Haas. Haas is like the big avocado company, man.
Is it?
They're big avocado, yeah.
I'm a little avocado. I like guacamole, but sometimes I'll see guac. Wait, what is it? Avocados. I'll see avocados sitting in the fruit bowl or whatever, and I'm like, oh, Cecily's going to be making guacamole this weekend. I never think, oh, I'm gonna have some guacamole toast or avocado toast, whatever.
All right, I eat avocado every day. I am a millennial,
do you
so
really?
Maybe that has something to do with it. But
there you go. See,
every day,
I just eat bacon.
But I never eat toast.
Bacon, orange juice, and cigarettes. That's what I wake up every night. Did I do a potty bump of Coke and I'm ready to go?
Jesus.
Yeah, so this is an interesting. Go ahead, Jim. I don't want to cut you off.
This is touching on the societal stuff that we're talking about, right? Like these bigger issues in healthcare around like the economics and the sort of exploitation and the private equity and all of this stuff that gets intersected here. Because this kid apparently had to drive his dad after going to the emergency room he thought he could go to nearby. It turns out it was closed. Like, not closed because of a cyber attack, closed permanently. He had to drive an hour and a half to get to this emergency room. And in that time, his dad could have easily died.
And it was precipitated because he missed the one thing because like a personal event or something. And he's like, well, no big deal. I can go to the facility that's closed. But like that had limited hours because of the holiday. And now he's in renal failure. Mm-hmm. This pulmonary edema is essentially when your kidneys can no longer clean the toxins out of your blood fast enough and fluid starts to accumulate. And then your blood volume expands. And if you know anything about blood pressure, if you put more fluid in the same system, what's going to happen? It's going to increase the pressure. That pressure can get so much that it actually physically starts squeezing water into body cavities. And when it happens into the little sacs in your lung, guess what? You can't breathe and you start aspirating blood. Mm-hmm. And I did not know it was this dire. Like, man, you miss dialysis for 36 hours and you can do it, but apparently so.
Yeah,
and
that's wild.
This is a big thing that I don't know, because like my dad grew up as in a very rural community as a subsistence farmer, and he always point things out. Like, isn't it kind of amazing? Like, look at our neighbor, because I used to live in this little subdivision that was in the middle of a cornfield. There's nothing for miles around. He goes, look at this, Aaron. Isn't it amazing that there's like a road that goes out here and there's power and cable and like, all these things that I think rural communities are going to become intimately aware of that they probably liked and they didn't know until it's gone. But like things like mail service and medical access, it doesn't make dollars and cents to deliver mail out to $10 man. Like, no. It really doesn't, but we do it because that's traditionally what we did. And usually when we build infrastructure, money comes later. Like 20 years ago in my old hometown, they ran fiber optic to all these cornfields. And I thought it was awesome that I could get fiber living in the middle of a cornfield. But 10 years later, there's this huge industrial hub and thing that's gone on to, and it wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for the infrastructure that was built up for no good damn reason. So it's like, at some point we got to be like, do we want to invest in our nation? And that means we're going to have some lost leaders, right? Or do we just want to be like, fuck it, pay me? Because I tell you, people talk a lot of shit about the urbanites and the cities in this country, but they're the ones that are going to survive because that's where the money and the people are. Yeah, it might suck like the pit, but you will see a doctor. You got to be driven by your kid that just got a his learner's permit at like 100 miles an hour for 90 minutes. You're taking your chances.
Yeah, maybe you could easily die.
Maybe a little bit higher property taxes wouldn't be the end of the world.
Well, I mean,
Maybe.
this intersects with so much. Like, this is a structural society thing, and I don't want to talk about like housing issues and like the cost of housing. Everything intersects here because
it's all the system.
The
right?
reason that hospital shut down is because it was owned by a private company who didn't see that the money was there to keep that facility open.
And it was there because of Medicare, government supplement, but then they cut that back and now was no longer, Yeah,
it's like the post office. The post office should not be run like a business because it's not profitable to do the thing we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is connect everybody. That's what we're trying to do. It's not a money-making machine. And healthcare should be the same way. And somehow we treat it like it's not the necessity that it is. It's just somehow another way for somebody to make $1. It's insane.
I have a brilliant idea for efficiency, Jim.
Yeah.
Fire departments should run on a profit motive. They should sell you fire coverage, and if you don't pay up, then they might rescue, make sure everybody's safe, but they just watch your house burn down.
The cops too. Like a cop should be on every corner, and he should have a bench out there saying, "Okay, come pitch me on why. How much are you gonna pay? Let's do this auction style, right? Like, oh, you got a crime? All right, how much are you willing to pay? Oh, you got a crime that you're willing to pay more? I'll go fix that."
Yeah. Or maybe it can be like in what was it? American Gangster? No, it wasn't that. It was Gangs of New York, where two competing police departments or fire departments show up and get in a fist fight about who's going to put out the fire while the fire's burning down because they don't want to lose that contract. That's a $500 fire, Jim.
Right? Yeah, it's insane. Like this idea that somehow this is not.
How much do you want life to be a pay-as-you-go hell? That's the question all of us are faced in this early 21st century. Which way, Western man?
Yeah, especially here.
Yeah. But anyway, that's Oliver Haas. I did like the old school phlebotomy. Like there's bloodletting because, again, if the blood pressure is high, among other things, because there's too much blood in the system, you can maybe give yourself some breathing room by letting some of that blood out. And it was so out of the box that Dr. J was like, and I didn't even understand the reference. She's like, so what are we just going to get, like a bunch of red caps? She's actually talking about those the standard red blood collection tubes. Like they're going to like hook up an IV and just like full pop it. And Robbie's like, I don't even know why they collect it in a bag. Probably because it's a biohazard, but
yeah.
I mean,
cool, it's spraying all over the place though. It's spraying on Joy. It's spraying on everybody. I will say, speaking of some breathing room, Robbie, we just got this thing about the co-attendings, right? Where Dr. Al's suggesting that. And then Robbie and her are in this room and they're trying to teach. And Robbie has a moment where he, knowing his shift is about to end, he steps back. He like specifically steps back to let her lead this room. And I'm just thinking, isn't this going to happen all the time with co-attendings? You don't want necessarily two people in charge in any given room. You want one person there to make the calls.
I feel like what they would do is have an A team, B team. Like Robbie would have Langden, who would have a bunch of, and maybe you would collaborate. And you'd have to have someone that has the last say. So you'd have to have like attending one, attending two.
The AI will.
Yeah, it'll just be HAL 9000. But I think that's like, yeah, you're right. You couldn't have two people but you'd split it to where you just effectively have like two separate teams, like a gold team, a blue team or whatever. They also had, Dr. Al, she's not like she's always trying to do the most expensive, craziest thing. She recommended using this albuterol because it's got double effects. Albuterol is like what they used to give. It's like the inhaler that's in the Goonies. Like that used to be what they give you for asthma and whatnot. But it's a fast acting steroid, and apparently it will pull the potassium out of the blood, which is a problem, as well as treat the inflammation and help him breathe better. And that's, again, they're just trying to get him to where they can get him to dialysis because that's what he really needs.
Yeah.
And the other thing
somebody wrote in to say that hospitals don't usually have dialysis machines. They're usually done off site.
I imagine.
And so in an emergency, that can be a bit of an issue.
Yeah. Yeah. That's another interesting thing. Like, it's a relic of the Nixon administration why we have all these dialysis machines, because it's like one of the few conditions that the government just kind of pays for. Like, you just show up at those Da Vinci or whatever dialysis sites and they're paid for by the government. And anyway, I don't know how something that based and awesome happened that long ago, but it did. We can make progress. This is the other, we found out incidentally through here that Whitaker, I guess to no surprise, wants to focus on rural medicine. He would like to get into rural emergency medicine, and he is despairing that maybe there won't be any rural hospitals left by the time he gets done with his residency.
It's possible.
Moving on. This is also like just to set the stage for the doctor drama. This is where Dr. Langden, for the first time, is starting to feel a little isolation from Dr. Al. Like, I think Dr. Al has completely recontextualized what she thinks of Dr. Langden because of the way that Robbie kind of handled this situation. Yeah,
that was a fast switch. She just flipped that switch, man. Suddenly he is on the outs with her, which makes sense. I mean,
it's a big difference because, as I believe we've discussed it, there's a world of difference between a doctor that comes to his supervisor and says, I have a problem, I need help, or when caught, immediately comes clean and does not deny or do that. Dr. Langdon just unfortunately did everything wrong. He was caught red-handed. He denied. He tried to take another doctor down. Like, none of these are leading indicators of a person who would be a good fit for a doctor's health program, a physician's health program, to get them back onto the place. So, and if the full facts, the other thing that was confirmed this episode is that Robbie did lie. Yeah. Like, I don't think anyone at the hospital, from the administrators down, except for Robbie, Langdon, Santos, maybe Dana, know the truth that that Langdon was stealing drugs from his patients. Mm-hmm. And that's just a anathema to the medical. So, like, a lot of that, if like that, it's like, yeah, doctors can get addicted and they should recognize it and but like someone who was hiding it and stealing meds from patients, and I feel like Santos is looking a little bit rosier this episode, but
yeah, I mean, this is Dr. Al's reaction to this is exactly what Santos was talking about last episode, where she said, all right, well, then go out in front of everybody and tell them what you did. Yeah. And this shows us why he hasn't, right? Because he knows that he fucked up big time, and these people will not be quick to forgive him if they knew. Yeah.
I don't want to change anything in my commentary from last week about there being two sides, but yeah, ultimately that's right. You cannot, and even like, I also wonder how honest he's been in his group work. Has he gone in like, oh, I got addicted because of my back got hurt, right, and all that stuff? But or is he actually saying, no, I actually stole from patients? He was upfront about that with Louis. So I don't know. And maybe you need maybe the first day back is not the day where he goes around on a campaign to, do this on the whole hospital. But there's a lot of I wonder. People die in the ER all the time. Sometimes it's the fault of the doctor. Sometimes it's not. But like, if you are a hospital administrator and you get a malpractice case, and in discovery they find this, and then they find out that like, actually he was stealing stuff and the laws were broke and there was a cover up, this whole hospital could go down. Like, he's doing the human thing, but they are, to my understanding, I could be wrong on this, but everything I've looked up and read shows that this is an enormous liability to the hospital.
And the way everyone's reacting to it reflects that, I think, pretty accurately. I will say I had some of my thoughts on Coltrane's apology last episode, recontextualized by a listener who wrote in named Emily, who kind of pointed out that apology was all about him. And it left some key things out that I think Santos points out in this episode too, which is he came to her and said, I wanted to give you this apology, as opposed to you deserve an apology for this. That makes it kind of about what he needs to do as opposed to what he thinks she needs. And then the idea that like he did not apologize for the actual thing that's upsetting her, which she puts to words this episode, that he was an asshole. It wasn't like he gaslit her. He denied it. He tried to throw her under the bus and just sabotage her whole career because he wouldn't admit what he'd done. I'm not like fully on Santos' side, but I do think that recontextualizes it a bit when you realize that.
There's a lot of recontextualizing to do when we get to the doctor drama, because I got some things to say about that too.
Totally.
Anyway, but yeah, Dr. Ice, he's starting to feel, the other thing, mea culpa on both me and Jim, because I felt like this was obvious once someone pointed it out, but I got some people on Discord. When Dr. Langden, when Dr. Roscoe P. Langdon was carrying that kid in with the high temperature and he drops him on the gurney, the camera kind of crash zooms a little bit on his face, and he makes like, and I recognize this as a 49-year-old man, that is like, oh shit, my back just went twang, and sometimes it's like I'm already done, and sometimes it's just a warning shot, like my back's like, look, buddy, it's Friday night. What kind of fucking weekend you want to have now? You know, you gonna start moving pavers around tomorrow? You gonna start we gonna kind of chill out and lay on the couch? But he definitely made that. And Jim, do you remember why Langdon got addicted to painkillers in the first place?
Because he fucked up his back. He was helping a buddy move, I think, right? Yeah.
He tweaked his back again.
This is big, man. I didn't even notice it. Yeah,
I didn't either.
Tracy's the one who wrote in an email.
Because it's subtle and they don't make it, but it's just like a half second, like, oh shit, my back. And it's not said. It's just and then the camera moves on, but.
Yep. Scary.
We'll see. All right, let's move on to the Coens. They're an elderly couple that got involved in I want to say moving vehicle accident, but actually those facts are to be determined.
They're in dispute, certainly, yeah.
Because they come in like a married version of the Muppets balcony, Waldorf and shithead or whatever, and they're like, if I got a broken hip, you broke it. Car wasn't even moving, you ran into it, and But this is a sad situation. It is an old couple that had a family and are living in their family home, and they got an adorable dog that might have some medical issues, could be blind and deaf. They can't really stay on their own because they're having mobility issues and nothing really big has happened, but and that line that they come out with of, every old person knows what it's like to be young, although I doubt it sometimes. I think some fuckers have forgot.
Yeah.
But like no young person can possibly know what it's like to be old. That is a killer line.
Yeah, because it's true. And it's a truism. It's not even like in dispute.
Yeah, like when I was a kid, or like even up to like my 20s, and I was dealing with like a cranky old person, it never even entered my thing as like, oh my God, they hurt all the time. And they like they feel like their independence and freedom slipping away, and how scary that must be. And it's always like, what a fucking stick, what a hidebound old fossil. You get, by the time you get the where those aches and you get that empathy, it's like you already lost a youth. But it's a great line. And I imagine in an industry that's probably dominated, especially ER, by younger doctors, that it's got to be really, really frustrating to be an old person, especially when you've got all these great doctors are taking care of all the ologists, but they are all prescribing medicine and they're not looking at the cross tabs, and the pharmacists are overworked and they can't get everybody. And now they got the stuff that you've got some adverse reactions. And I guess I was a little surprised at how bad it was, because apparently some of these are on this Spears list, which is a known list of medicines that you have to be wary giving to senior citizens, because does everybody know this? That medicine is a trade-off. Most of the time you don't take medicine and it doesn't do anything bad to your body. You're just counting on the good things it does to outweigh the bad things, and your relatively healthy body to tank the bad things. You take aspirin, it's tearing up your stomach. You take ibuprofen, it's tearing up your liver. You take acetaminophen, it's killing your kidneys. When you get to being old, that balance gets trickier where there's less health to draw down from and there's more problems to solve. So I was just really surprised all these doctors had put him on and nobody had noticed that, like, hey, all of these together might be causing him.
Right.
But I guess that must be a common problem.
It seems like that's where an algorithm could actually do some good. Like, here, let's just punch this guy's medications in and see if they're cross-referenced on this list. Because
flag it. And is there a different drug you could use? Because none of these were like critical life-saving. These were all this kind of quality of life things. And but good on Mohan for spending the time to do this. I also liked how she kind of showed Dr. King a trick about, hey, if you can get a patient to take off your shoes so you can kind of, get an idea. Because like I get the idea. I did a little research into this. That the reason that's is like your extremities are a good show of how relatively healthy your vascular system is. Also, the state of a person's a pedicure. Can give you indications of like that guy can't touch his feet. I don't think.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons old people's feet start looking gross is because they can't keep up with them anymore. And it, then it's like also you ask them to stand. This test that they're talking about is you ask a person to stand with their feet together, arms at their side, and then for them to close their eyes for 20 seconds. And if they don't just do anything but sit there, they've got some kind of issue. If they start to wobble or if they get unsteady or they have to open their eyes or put a foot out, a healthy individual with their proper balance should have no problem doing that. So,
all right, public service
I
here.
Some things off
Let's
that.
do it, everybody. For the next 20 seconds, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do it too. We'll just stand here in silence, eyes closed. Granted, I'm sitting down, so I should be all right.
I know you and I both have standing desks. We could actually do this as a public if we wanted to do it. But maybe it would freak out the Baldmove community if we both passed out.
Yeah, or even us just going silent for 20 seconds might freak him out. So I don't think we should do that.
Me.
We had our attending, Dr. G, write in and say this is a pretty common scenario that you'll see. And a lot of the times what happens is they fight going to an assisted living facility and they'll end up going home when maybe they shouldn't have, and then they'll just end up right back in the ER because they fall or they have some kind of accident. They can't take care of themselves. And maybe eventually they learn, but maybe they don't. Maybe it's too late for them to learn. And it
seems like, again, taking price out of everything you can't really do it. But it seems like that assisted senior living stuff is like one of the things where like doing it too early is probably better than doing it too late, because your quality of health going into an assisted living facility with not a broken hip. Yeah. Because I don't know. I don't want to scare old people. I've known a lot of elderly people, and when I say elderly, I mean 70 and up, break their hip and like radically changes their mobility for the rest of their life. Like they never quite, even if they were very healthy and like able and getting up and spry, that shit just is a bad deal. So it's like, like if you like, why do you want to wait until you have a medically significant event that might rob you of significant quality of life when you could just, but I get it too. Like, I don't feel this way because I've moved a bunch as an adult. I don't feel like I have like a childhood home that's like, oh my God, all my kids were born here. And I carried my wife over to the threshold. And then I've got a dog that you treat like your child, and like maybe they're senior. And well, if we could wait a year till he'll be so confused, or they wouldn't take it. I get it. And I can't even get it because I can't even imagine being a man, a full ass grown man, and be in a position where you got to start listening to others tell you what to do for your own good. That's got to be hard.
Yeah, and it's the existential part of it too, right? It's like once you admit that you can't take care of yourself, you're basically admitting that you're done. That you're done. You have no more real life ahead of you.
Yes.
You're not going to be able to take those trips you wanted to take. You're not going to, like, all those fantasies you have of things you wanted to do before it was too late. Those are gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even if you never actually got to them, at least not admitting that you couldn't get to them would preserve some of that in your mind. But yeah, once you do that, so I get the resistance for sure.
I did feel that sorry for his daughter because she's got this Carl Reiner ass dad And the second he's like, well, what are we going to, it's like, oh, it might be 3 to 6 months. Oh, just kill me now. Like, if that's what he goes to with doctors in the room, you imagine what the kind of guilt trip and shit that they're putting on this poor Care Bear.
Yeah. I do like her. She's from Glow is the last place I saw her, actually.
Okay. I wondered. I've seen her around and I thought, great character actor. Mm-hmm. I'll do a little bit of doctor drama. We know that Dr. Mohan got the kind of head nod for maybe geriatrics from Dr. Al a few weeks ago. Dr. Robbie gave one with more of a shitty backhand. Where it's like, hey, have you ever thought about elder care? There's lots of availabilities and maybe it agrees with your pace. Now, people said that that's like way out of pocket for Robbie to say, but like that was her rep last season too.
Yes.
So like it's
and
a
it wasn't
teaching hospital.
unspoken.
No, it was like this is your you are Dr. Slowhand or something. I forget what the what her name, Slowhand Luke is what they call her.
Yeah.
Wait till you see her pack the eggs, the boiled eggs away. So like this is and that's a teaching hospital and it's a fact of life that you don't have that kind of luxury in the ER unless you want to specialize. And so I want to talk about that like, and because I've seen a couple defenses of it. Well, Robbie was actually making a sly reference to the program of all-inclusive care for the elderly, properly called PACE. I think that's bullshit. No, he was making a not very subtle hint about that she's takes her time with the differentials, right?
Yeah, I'm with you there. I don't know about this PACE program, but that's how I read it, surely.
And the other thing, people are like making it out like if she went into geriatrics that she would be like shunted to some nursing home. Just like there's a pediatric department in the emergency room, there is a geriatric department. Like there are specialties, and she could quite easily be in that department and still be attached to the ER, even this one. So
yeah, and I might not tell her it suits her pace, but obviously it suits her pace. Like
it does.
She cares too. That's the thing. I mean, she is so fit for the geriatric stuff. She should absolutely be in that specialty.
Does she want to like settle for something she's good at, or does she want to push herself though? I guess that's the question. And the other thing is like, I don't think people would bat an eye on this if Robbie had said it without being unkind to her about her missing the other thing. Yeah. So like, I feel like it's only coming on the back of Robbie going a little overboard on her almost killing a patient that this is even seen as like a mild rebuke.
What did Dr. Al suggest to her? Was it pediatrics?
Geriatrics, same thing.
It was geriatrics. Okay.
She says,
everybody knows it. When 19 people come to you and say, you'd be really good in this specialty.
And she lit up when he said it. She kind of lit up and like, oh, this is like, I'm getting the universe to tell me, but the pace just, knocked it all away. All right, moving on to Dante Casilla, who is a 34-year-old fireworks merchant, I think, who has suffered from a up-close fireworks explosion that's flung him into a garage door.
Not blown to safety.
He was not blown to safety. He was blown to trauma. And what'd you think of this injury plot line?
I hate it. Deep nasty lacerations are one of my worst squeamish moments in this show, and this was a particularly nasty one. Your scalp is hanging half off. I don't want any part of it. But I do love. Okay, it's like a horror movie, right? Where the anticipation is the really juicy part that you want, and this show does that so well because they always come in bandaged up, right? The team in the ambulance that brought him here has always bandaged their wounds, tried to stop the bleeding as much as possible, and then the removal, like the slow, bandage coming off, what's it going to look like, is always this grim anticipation that I love.
And that partial scalping it delivered the goods, Yeah. I got to learn a new medical term. Have you ever heard of the Galea?
No.
It's a Roman word for helmet. And I looked at an anatomy book. I swear to God, there is like a cap of what I can only describe as like gristle. that looks like
Yeah, you get
one
to
of
see
those.
it
Is
cut.
what's the thing? The yarmulke that the Jewish men wear. It's about that size and it fits that shape, and it's like a firm, kind of sinewy thing that a lot of muscles and tendons attach anchor to at the top of your skull. And it's like the last layer you get before your skull. Like he came as close as you can get to a skull fracture and brain trauma without actually experience it. And Robbie kind of spoils it when he says, when you get this kind of explosion, it gives a shockwave. If you've ever been around a large explosion or something like that, you can literally feel it move through your body. Yeah. And even though there's no physical signs of trauma, large, especially air-filled sacs can get just shook so hard that they get trauma. And he's talking lungs, he's talking bladders, kidneys.
Yeah, things can burst.
But yeah, they're even they're all saying, it's like, yeah, this guy's like looks healthy as a horse and as tough as the injury is. He's young, but we could probably send him home. But due to the mechanism, thank God they didn't send him home, because he turns out probably a broken rib nicked the sac that surrounds the heart. It started filling full of blood, and now the heart can no longer expand to beat. It's being strangled by this fluid pressure.
Yeah.
And Santos, I love this detail where they got the sonogram, and you could actually see the needle as a bright white star like poke out of the slice. You could actually see it enter the picture. It's so cool. She's pulling off that blood. I
do always love internal shots as people are doing procedures on him.
I'm telling you, I've watched a little bit of ER lately, and the big quantum leap from that show to this show is the fact that they have those bedside sonograms where you can act like the other show. It's like they had to crack people open to see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But now it's like they got this magic portal that can just tell them. It's so cool. That's called a cardiac tamponade, apparently, when that sac fills up and starves the blood.
Okay.
A little bit of setup for doctor drama. Robbie had to sit and listen to this kid talk about how much even though he just got himself blown the fuck up, almost died. Mm-hmm. He's going to go right back to doing it because gunpowder flows in his veins. You should leave this to the professionals. But doctor, I am a professional. I am a licensed fireworks, but and like, this is Robbie, right? He's got the special license that says he can do these things, and he feels like it's something he's got to do, and it's in his blood, and it's boiling, and he's like, what's he going to do, to tell this kid you're stupid? And he even says like that fate amori, that Latin for being in love with one's fate. Yeah.
And that's the thing. The other the little twist on this too is, I think when he gets the call for this, he's standing in Duke's room, and Duke had just described this place as quicksand, and then he gets that call away to go to this, where he's again reminded about So they're really like weaving that narrative through every part of this show.
Yeah. Next up, we have a historical reenactor. I didn't catch his name. With a bayonet wound. He was marching with some Continental regiments, and apparently somebody got out of formation. Again, not sure who. There's a lot of fingers being pointed. Slipped, tripped, and stabbed his buddy in the shoulder with the bayonet. Best line of the thing is him saying, these triangular bayonet wounds are designed not to be closed and stitched. And Donnie walks in there with his glove. These bayonets never met me. So good.
He's great.
Donnie
Langden also pokes his head in here.
The preeminent cut man of the hospital has been one of the better little minor developments this season.
Yeah, no, I really liked him. He hasn't been in the show much, but every time he shows up, it's a pleasure.
He's doing that. Plus he's spelling Jesse, because Jesse got arrested by fucking immigrations last episode.
Mm-hmm. Langden pops his head in this room too, just to say
fangirls over these guys.
Yeah, hey, my mom used to take me out to Fort Pitt. I don't know if that has any meaning beyond just what it is, but
he's been the guy. He's been the Pittsburgh guy. He's like, oh, you're the guy that I know that guy. He's the fireworks king of like, or I know that dude. You're the big racing team out. Like it's like he's the guy who just lets us know as audience why this is important to the area, I guess, because this is like we have what was the place that we went to, Jim?
the place we went to? When?
Yeah, when we wanted to see historical reenactors doing historical shit. You forgot
the place where they had the fair too, right? I forgot the name of it.
I'm gonna give you a hint. It's she's the mother of a freedom fighter in the future. Her name is Sarah
Connors.
And then
Chronicles.
Laura Ingalls once lived on a little house on
Prairie. Yes.
There you go.
Right. Yeah, they used to have the fair out there too.
If you went to elementary and middle school from probably 1970 to late, maybe they're still doing it in central Indiana, you went to Conner Prairies.
Yeah.
Several times.
I'm trying to remember when I went there, because I know I did, but no one cares.
Yep. Yeah, I just wonder if like this is all going somewhere. Maybe it's like trying to like Langdon's uniquely locally bound to this place, unlike some of the others who feel like they're kind of transplants or kind of came in to do the residencies or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They're setting stakes for how uniquely painful it'd be for him if he had to lose this job. Maybe.
Yeah, the only other person like that in the ER that I'm aware of is Dana. She's a lifer, but like,
yeah.
I don't know that Robbie is not from Pittsburgh.
Well, yeah, no, I guess he is, because he's from, they did, when him and a Jewish lady talked about which, not tabernacle,
temple,
synagogue, I forget what they called their, but which congregation they went to, and he mentioned, and to me that implies he's got pretty deep roots, like at least going back to him being a kid. Could be wrong. We have one more medical emergency to talk to before we get to doctor drama, MDD. This is Orlando Diaz. It's a rebound.
Man.
We knew this was coming. He had to get to this goddamn warehouse supervisor job because he didn't want to pay $100,000 at a hospital to heal him. And he fell unsupervised fall from a warehouse catwalk. That could be anywhere from 8 to 30 feet off the ground. Sure. He's in bad shape. And he's in here, and now he's in diabetic crisis and has broken bones and God knows what else. And you're going to be paying the hospital $1 million probably now, buddy.
Yep.
And thank God you didn't come here last hour, because you probably gotten your ass snatched up too. I hate this. No,
it's horrible. It's
if nothing else, go into geriatrics because you don't have to put up with this shit, Mohan. Like every one of your patients is going to have Medicaid, or no, Medicare. Sorry, that's the one for Ola. So you don't have to worry about getting, people getting paid. I guess you got to fight for the quality of their care there. But
yeah, I mean so I guess the solution here is just bankruptcy. But now he's going to have to tell his family what kind of horrible shape they're in. Well, yeah, we're already, that we're already in medical debt, family. Okay, well, I need you. Yeah, and the other thing is, like, I don't know exactly, but like all my life, they've made it harder and harder to declare bankruptcy and have debts fully discharged. I do know that medical bankruptcy is one of the leading causes for Americans to declare bankruptcy, but I don't know, like, does that get you out of everything? I don't know. And you can only do it so many times in a period of time. Like, you can do it once and then you need X amount of years before you can even do it again. So
is that true? I thought it just fucked up your credit. I didn't know that there's limits to.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong about that. If we have any lawyers somehow listening to this show, let us know. Yeah.
What happens if you declare bankruptcy because of medical and then like you get in a car accident and you need another $200,000 of care? Like, well, you declared bankruptcy 60. You should have really thought about that before you had that medical event, dumbass.
Right.
Poor planning on your part.
I don't know. But this is a tragedy, man. And he fell from this catwalk because of his diabetes issues, right? Like he probably got low blood sugar again because he wasn't eating while he's at the hospital. And yeah, so one thing leads to another. And here he is again. This is like a season of boomerangs. We have the lady with the bacteria eating her leg.
Eating bacteria. Yep.
Yeah. We had now Diaz. I don't think we had any of those in the
Langden,
first season.
The addict from the first season coming back. Like it's just been the whole season.
Coming back to steal more drugs.
turning up like bad pennies. All right, we're talking. It's time for MDD, medical doctor drama. First update on Ogilvy. He's still upstairs, helping Dr. J's mom save his medical fuck up
for a full hour, man.
I mean, she did say it's a 2 to 4 hour procedure. So even though she speed ran any percentage complete, no hacks, the first half of it, you'd imagine that doing it right and getting it all sealed up is going to be at least an hour of television. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be really dull to cover like the Pitt surgical division? Because it's just like 3 doctors, 4 nurses, and an anesthesiologist standing around this little 6x6 bloody gore portal in this sea of blue for 2 or 3 hours doing minute adjustments and things.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like that'd be so boring. Like they used to cut away for it in ER every once in a while to see like, let's see what Dr. LaSalle's doing upstairs. And it's like, it's always that. You're just staring into the 6-inch gore portal.
Yeah. Or it's Dr. Javadi's mom at home in her underwear using robots on a Zoom call to operate on somebody now, right? Like that's what I assume it is.
True. Yeah. I'm not turning my camera on because my hair's a mess. Okay. So this caught a little bit another doctor drama because Whitaker made the wry, oh, it's good. This might be the one day that med students are useful in the ED, right next to Joy, who I don't think gives a fuck. But man, I love the way Joy rolls because she's like, maybe she's wanted to do this the entire shift, but now he stuck his foot in his mouth, so she's going to take advantage. Like, I need to get a photo. I want to capture the Phantom of the Pit. And the way it timed where his face fell and he like, you know that was captured on the selfie. His reaction to being called the Phantom of the Pit. How did Joy become my new favorite character? It's Runaway at this point. I don't think anyone else, like even more than Dr. Emma, because like Dr. Emma, like she's very sweet. She's very boring. Joy is not boring. Joy has got texture. Joy's got things your Velcro hooks can hook into. I love Joy. Joy is points the way forward for medicine, I think.
I like
boundaries.
I like that moment. It wasn't my favorite moment though in the episode. My favorite moment was like the little exchange was when Whitaker's trying to get Santos to admit that she wants him to be her roommate, and he's like, "Okay, just admit you like having me as your roommate." And she's like, "You were such a fuckleberry," and she walks away, and then Javadi looks over and she's like, "You have no idea how much joy that just gave me."
That reminds me of some of the best like Kirk, Spock, McCoy things.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that was perfect.
You know, Whitaker's McCoy, Santos is Spock, and in this case, Dr. J was Kirk from his command throne, wryly observing what was going on. Like,
yep.
Admit it, Spock. You've got feelings for me, you green-blooded bastard. Well, admit that would be illogical, Doctor, because I don't have any feelings. And so good. It brought me a lot of joy too, Dr. J. I was with you.
Oh yeah.
Robbie checks in with Emma and Dana and kind of briefly is the villain, making it seem like he cares more about the CT scan availability than he does nurse safety. I feel like that's Dana projecting a lot of shit onto him. But also, yeah, this is the doctor I just watched him slice open a lady's leg to get the, like, he colors outside the line. He is a little bit of a cowboy, but like a lot of risk takers, when he sees someone, that he cares about doing the same shit, he worries for him because obviously.
Yeah, the thing that really like stuck out to me in this episode that Robbie says is when he tells everybody, I think he might be talking to Emma here, I can't remember, but he tells somebody he wants everyone in the department to see a trauma counselor after today. Santos, yeah. I'm just thinking, physician, heal thyself. Like, you are the dude who needs to see a trauma counselor from,
and we know he's been ducking it. Well, he hasn't been ducking them. He's been going to a few that don't work out for whatever reason.
Right. Yeah, needs to keep trying, I guess.
And also, like, I love Dana, because like Robbie tries to, like, this is my department. I'm telling you, push this off. I don't want you working with this guy anymore. And she's like, fuck you. I get to say what the nurse's assignments are, and I'm not going to put any other nurse with this psycho. Yeah, I like
Donnie.
that. Dana's fierce.
Assign it to Donnie. Donnie will take care of this guy. No problem.
Dr. Al comes up to Robbie, says, "Can I talk in private?" And I love, because, this is something we've been talking about. Like, is this some, Sam and Diane from Cheers vibes? Is this like people that don't like each other, but they're going to secretly be hot for each other? And I love his lines like, "Oh, doctor, people are going to start to talk." But she essentially says, "What the fuck, dude? Like, I've asked you straight up several times what's going on in this department, and you have lied to me, and now I know it. And like, what the fuck? What the fuck?" It's like, should I fire Langden? Because I don't want his ass getting me in like, damn. Yeah. And you know what? Reveal. She's not wrong. And the thing is, the Pitt is so dysfunctional. I've been in workplaces where, like, hey, there's this guy that is going to consistently show up 10 to 15 minutes late, and he'll probably reek of weed. And a guy, like a new manager, come in and is like, "I'm going to fucking fire this guy day one." Well, okay, but this guy slams through some fucking work. You need someone to sit and correct incorrect zip codes on cities. This guy can crank through that faster than anybody. It's like, sometimes places that are dysfunctional and suck, you got to find dysfunctional, sucky people and figure out where they're high functioning. And it's a finely tuned machine of dysfunction. And if you fuck up the parts too much, it'll blow apart. Mm-hmm. Is that what Robbie's arguing the Pitt is? Like, it's this beautiful, flawed machine, but because of it, it's also one of the best. Or is he just a homer?
Yeah, I mean, I think he is. I think he's arguing for, like, humanity, which is funny given, the argument that he and Dana are going to have later. It's just like,
yep,
he's arguing for, like, people make mistakes and, they have weird quirks, but we can't treat them like robots. We can't treat them like machines like you kind of want to. So this works, or at least it works well enough. Good luck trying to pull pieces out of it, like you're saying, and see if it still stands up.
Yeah, it'd be great to get a dude Langdon that has never been addicted to benzos. However,
I think this would,
like, our closest candidate is Whitaker, and he's like 7 years away and wants to go to rural medicine. So, like, fuck me, I guess.
Yeah, I think this would ring a little truer if it weren't for the fact that this was Langdon's first day back after like 10 months.
Yeah,
because they clearly did the job without him for 10 months. Why can they not continue to do it?
But I think she's going to, like, Langdon's life's going to be hell on her, because she's just going to constantly double check everything he does, because she doesn't want anything he does to blow back on her as the attending.
Yep.
But then Robbie, like, I felt like him and Dr. Al had gotten to a decent place, but him, like, hey, as far as I'm concerned, this is your department to fuck it up. So don't fuck it up. Like, that's harsh words for your fellow ED, or attending physician, rather. We got a generational battle. Dr. Javati, not quite 21, against the crusty ex-charge nurse / stripper of yesteryear. Who likes to cozy up to ICE agents. Dr. Javati is trying to desperately upload a video showing them dragging Jesse out in chains.
What are we?
I'm probably going to blow people's hair back and be like, I think the crusty nurse has a little bit of a point.
This is so uncalled for, though. Like, this is out of nowhere.
Yeah, but for her point, this whelp is coming after her for something that's not hurting anybody. Like, I understand why you don't smoke in a hospital, and I certainly understand why they say you got to be like 50, because, like, you don't want, because if you didn't, patients would be literally standing in the vestibule smoking.
Sure.
I understand all that. And Javati's like, I don't know, do you want to take down this big a game? But, like, it's got, and like, I'm going to leave the politics out of it, although I do think that's something the show has kind of been saying that a lot of people have been picking out. It's like, you probably don't want to run around and ask these nurses too much about their politics, because, like, not every healthcare worker is even on board about vaccines. It's something we found out in the pandemic.
Sure.
I think this person is probably extremely conservative, And I'm going to wear my empathy hat to say that it must be a lot to see this very privileged little girl, who's not quite 21, telling you where you can smoke when you put yourself through nursing school stripping at a rough bar in the neighborhood. Like, that is a big gap of experience. And I don't know. Like, it's like it should probably, and then she got laid off by this hospital because they couldn't afford her. But then when they have a crisis, they pull her in on a vacation. Like I said, there's a reason why all this stuff has happened, by the way, too. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying I thought it was particularly put that, like, yeah, like Javati is probably fragile compared to somebody like that. But
without a doubt,
your thoughts, Jim?
She's fragile comparatively. I don't know. And maybe this is her way of trying to toughen her up, right? Like, call her names, be shitty to her, because that's how it was done for her.
The thing is, like, when she accused her of smoking and she's like, no sale. And then she's like, what are you? Like, you're not even 21. You're some kind of idiot savant. And like Javati to build a whole, actually, we don't use dirt anymore. So if it's like, that's like, yeah.
I mean, you're going to trigger somebody that way.
Do you think that nurse does not know that? Like, the nurse has now switched into busting your balls mode, and as a Gen Z, you don't get that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I do feel like, I don't know if it's a snowflake thing, but like younger people tend to be, I don't know, it's probably a good thing. They tend to be less. They don't take guff, man. Sometimes they don't even detect guff as being given to them. And it's wild, like what the environment I grew up in, the 80s and 90s, the way people spoke to themselves, each other in, like the way bosses would speak to teachers and all that kind of stuff. It's already changed quite a bit. And I imagine the further you go back, but again, yeah, just gal's probably crusty and I wouldn't like to have dinner with her, but maybe Dr. Javati's not the one that should be trying to knock the crust off of her.
I will say I'm not making any excuses for this lady. I don't. I still think this is uncalled for. Like, all she did was remind you you're smoking in front of a no smoking sign. Now, would she have done that with Dana? I don't know. Maybe she did it because she didn't know this person. And if she knew Dana was out there smoking, she wouldn't have had a problem with it. But I don't know.
Yeah. I can see like Dana like smoking, like Dana smokes in the exact same place. I think that's the other part of it, that like maybe like the charge nurses, this is like the captain's, the windward side of the quarterdeck. It's just like, yeah, if you're in, you can go there if you're the captain, right? Cause like, Javati, I think Javati has this exact same exchange if she starts it with Dana, except for she probably wouldn't because she's afraid of Dana.
Yeah, I don't know. I just want people to be cooler to each other, and I'm
not making excuses. I'm just talking about the underlying reasons this conflict is happening. Mm-hmm. Fuckleberry. I think he's lying a bit about this farmer's wife, ex-widow Amy, because he has this very blink if you miss it conversation where he talks to her about being caught up in a hospital. It sounds indistinguishable from a husband explaining why he's running late home and going to miss dinner to his wife.
Sure. Yeah. No, I think there's something to really wonder about there.
Yeah. I remember how cute this widow was. And Huckleberry's got this kind of future farmers of America fixation anyway, and the cute kid and the tragic circumstances and the widow trying to make the farm work. I mean, shit, I think Garth Brooks made 3 different songs about this particular topic. So it's got him bad. And I think he's full of shit about it I'm just trying to help out. In fact, I wonder if that's one of his things about wanting to get into rural medicine so he can maybe get in a department closer to the farm.
I was wondering about that too. There's a lot of questions I have about this. It's suspicious from a lot of angles. Here's another one to consider. All right, so we know Santos really likes him being her roommate rather. Is there going to be a shipping opportunity here between Santos and Whitaker? Is she just jealous of the widow getting all of his time?
Is Whitaker or is Santos bi? And because I don't think this is a chasing Amy situation. If there's going to be a guy that like tempts you into the dark side, it's not going to be Whitaker. Jesus.
No, I'm assuming she's bi. I don't know. Maybe she's not.
Are you? Oh,
yeah. I don't know. No reason to think she's.
I guess that's it's bi erasure, Jim. But I guess when I see someone being gay, I just assume they're gay rather than like they're probably bi. Maybe that's bad for me to do. Maybe I'm the crusty nurse.
Maybe I shouldn't assume that she's bi
loading
either.
Zone smoking.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're probably fucking up no matter what we do, but we learn and grow, right? See, Emma gets assigned to McKay to work up her assault. I will say that, like, do you remember what I said when everybody's freaking out about her dying? I'm like, I will point out that this dude got her in a headlock around her ears. Mm-hmm. And that human skull is a lot stronger than you think. She's probably going to be okay, but also it could be a stunt. I loved when I screamed when she said, well, he mostly had me around the head. Yeah. Yeah, you weren't getting choked out necessarily, but I don't blame Dana for thinking you were when she ran in there. Let's see. Do we want to talk about the Dana Bobby? We kind of did Dana and Robbie stuff, which is them both pointing the finger of hypocrisy back at him and them both being devastatingly correct and also wrong in the exact same ways. Is there more to say to it than that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it does feel like a good vent session for both of them. But yeah, is there more to it? I don't think so. I think they're both just fucked up in their own ways and
that is
pointing at each other's fucked upness.
Had to flee from the conversation with Robbie to go to the bathroom and just bawl, like shades of like Robbie going to the peds and having a panic attack. I also love the fact that, like, you know, Robbie's like, okay, tell me. It's like, well, you act like you got a death wish. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you're telling everybody you're going to smash my head in Place Canada, which I'd forgotten because, you know, Robbie's talking about this shit, but he's going to this place called Head Smashed In Buffalo Jump, which is a World Heritage Site where Plains Indigenous people of Canada used to drive buffalo herd over this little 36-foot cliff. And then they had buffalo for days afterwards. Just one weird trick. Buffaloes hate it. But that's he's like, but also, yeah, Head Smashed In Canada is not maybe where you want to go if you're a doctor that's kind of not wearing your helmet and you know, rebel without a causing it across the Americas. No, there's a ton of things like that. Like when he tells Duke, he's trying to convince like Duke to stay, and he's like, you know, this place seems crazy, I don't want to be a burden. He's like, this place is always crazy and I don't know when I'm coming back, which I thought this was a planned 3-month thing, but he claims that he's not sure he's coming back after that, so we'll see. I went to Duke because even Duke is off his side. He's like, why are you wanting to get out of here tonight? Is it because, you know, he's like, I got schedules, but I think Duke hits it. It's like, you're afraid if you stay another day that you just keep, like, if that mental hurdle is crossed, that white line is crossed, you'll just keep compromising, and then, well, you know what, maybe next year. But Robbie does not like hearing when people get pretty close to the mark. I just noticed that he's got this thing where he kind of tucks his chin, he starts shaking his head no, and he kind of starts smiling and grimacing, and it's just like his way of, I think, sticking his fingers in his ears and saying la 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 la, I can't hear you.
Yeah, pretty much.
But that's the other thing. It's like, it's so funny because, like, man, I just realized this when Robbie says to Duke and says, sticking around won't kill you, but leaving might. That, how is he not talking about himself?
Leaving tonight might,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, leave first thing in the morning, Doc.
Right.
It's a bad idea to motorcycle at night. It just, I mean, shit, man. I just had this incident with my Subaru and a deer in Michigan last year that I wouldn't be around if it was on a motorcycle.
Oh, yeah.
Shit happens at night that, large animals start crossing roads and things. And you're going to be in prime large animal crossing zone, America, Doc. There is a this is one patient we didn't talk in a main because it's almost all doctor drama. This 50% burn, body burn patient, first degree body burn in a bikini. Are you a little outraged as she went to the emergency hospital? Like, go to Walgreens, get yourself some aloe vera, some After Sun, slap that stuff on 3 or 4 times a day, take some cool bath. What do you want them to do? Suck the sun out of you?
No, I mean, you can get like legit sun poisoning. I don't know if that's the name of it, right? But like if you take too much UV and you turn this red, I think it's legit to go to the hospital.
Really? I have never.
I imagine doctors would say the same thing, but I don't know.
Well, we'll see.
Paycheck depends on it. So.
But yeah, this one was about Roxy's blanket. This is something that kind of deflated McKay because it's a reminder that she wasn't there for her. I think it's also a reminder of her situation and how she feels, and also a glimpse into her that she has shut down herself so much from working in this hospital that she can't remember the last time she's cried, and she's not sure she could if she needed to, whatever that means.
Just crazy because she always sounds like she's on the border of crying. Like something when she says that, I'm like, oh, she's about to start crying right now. But yeah,
it's my secret, Roscoe. I'm always on the verge of tears. And then Langdon saying, I guess this is a valid question to ask. You know, it's like your wrong colleagues. You had this things like, do you want a hug? And she's like, God, no.
Why?
I mean, I don't know. You're not a hugger, Jim. Why don't you hug more?
No. But if I'm saying, man, I'm feeling really shitty and God, woe is me, and somebody says you want a hug, I'm not like, get the fuck away from me. I'm just like, I'll either say no thanks or yeah, why not?
Yeah. But
seems extreme.
I just thought that was funny. Maybe it's going because I'm thinking like a person that's like keeping her feelings at bay probably doesn't want to, because like what? Maybe that's the opening, then they'll start weeping in the ER and then
breaks the dam.
Or is it just her saying like, no, you're kind of uniquely gross, I don't like you. Santos is a little right about you.
God.
Maybe. We are not getting anywhere at Jesse. We hear that the hospital lawyers are fully involved. I don't know, because I also heard Robbie talking to Dr. Al last episode about the hospital lawyers being full with the cyber attack, which makes a lot of sense. But that also seems to be resolving, so maybe we'll get some movement. But like Dana is just in full meltdown. She's about to tea party her way to some kind of revolution. What happened to we the people?
Yeah, if I was edgier, I'd make a whole lot of jokes right now about Jesse's location, but I'm not. We should move on. It's too soon.
Okay, you gotta tell me after the podcast because I'm curious.
Right.
Our man Mateo shows up, and I gotta say, not a flirty relationship with Dr. J.
Oh yeah, invites her to the dark side. I mean, come on, it's wild, is what he says.
Yeah. It's the night side, Doc. Get away from your you know who doesn't work night shift? Your fucking mom and dad.
Oh, true.
Yeah. I miss Mateo. I'm glad he's back. Was that I forget, did they establish it as weird for him to be on day shift, or did he just flip shifts in the 10 months that we haven't been with these people?
I can't be sure, because Pitt Fest might have been something that connected night shift and day shift a little more closely in season 1. I don't remember, and I was just getting used to the show, so
yeah,
couldn't tell
I remember that he was there and he acted like he knew about the going through the parks with Donnie and all that kind of stuff. And but we got part 2 of Dana versus Robbie, and this is the one that's really interesting, because I think it's interesting that like Robbie uses this then shit with Duke, when he's like, Duke's getting impatient and he's like, well, you should take comfort in the fact that, you weren't blown up by fire. The people that bumped you are really fucked up. He's like, why? He's like, well, everything comes with a lesson. I am not an expert at Eastern philosophy, but I've had some personal advisors say you should look into it in the last few years. So I decided to. One of the big differences between Eastern philosophy and Western is the emphasis on the community over the individual. Like, a lot of these scholars would say that like no one individual is more important than the whole, the community, the collective, right? And that's what Dana's trying to say. Like, you're not vital to this place running. And if you had done a better job in the last week, we wouldn't have been on Easy Street. What the fuck? This is the Pit. And the corollary to that is also, it's not that the individual is not important. It's that every loss of an individual is a wound to the collective. Sometimes it's a wound that you can sustain, or that maybe was even necessary or surgically, like if it's a terrible criminal or whatever, I don't know, Hitler. But like it's even a loss of a truly terrible person, if you think about it long enough, is like what about our community led to this happening? And what is our community impoverished because this person was doing this instead of the other things? And what could we... So it's funny that Robbie's been studying this stuff in this very pop culture. A lot of young men's first introduction to Zen is probably something like Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. But he completely is not applying any of those things to his real life. It's all about this individual Titanic voyage he's going to make across America into Canada, right?
Yeah, and it's weird even the way he interacts with Dr. Al in this episode. He tells her, good luck running this department after she suggests like, Langden shouldn't be here and stuff like that. He's still treating this department as a bunch of individuals that are super important to its working, himself included. Even though he's been reading this Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, this Eastern philosophy stuff, he's not treating it as the machine that it is.
No, because like at the end, like if you froze time and asked him 30 seconds before this, do you think you're a better doctor than Addison? I think is his name. Robbie would, hell no, man. I worship the ground he walks on. The man walks on water. But yet the hospital lost him, and yet it still stands, and he calls it the best. He put it up against any ED in America. So, which is it, Robbie?
Right.
And that's also one of the things that the Eastern philosophy is attractive. Is it's incredibly liberating. It's like it's depressing when you first think, oh, I don't matter. But then it's like, oh shit, I don't matter. No one cares about me. I can do whatever the fuck I want. It's all like and that's the thing is like it's freedom is just on the other side of this realization, Robbie. And joy kind of touches to it too. Like boundaries, man. You have identified this place so much that you are the Pit in your eyes, and it's fucked up.
Yeah, in some ways I can identify with Robbie, because I think that the heart of the matter that Dana's really getting to is he's just confused and fucked up. Like there's just a swirl of things in his head, and he's trying all this patchwork of solutions that's just not working. And like, that confusion, that sort of indecision in his own life when he's such a decisive doctor, I think is like a very strange thing for him to experience.
Yeah.
But I think it's a very human thing too. Like it's easy for a lot of people to look in from the outside and say, okay, well, here's an obvious, easy solution, and here's how you should be acting. And then you get inside the brain of the person and it just isn't clicking. It's just not syncing up the way it should. I feel like that a lot of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Like knowing better doesn't necessarily lead to doing better.
Right.
Because there's the actual work that you got to do. Yeah, it's great, and I wonder if like seeing him, it'd actually be a sign of positive growth if he is a little less like, oh, I got to be on top of everything, I got to know everything, I got to have my hands in everything. Trust the process a little bit more, fall into the process. Yeah, anything else to say about the big blowout here, or can we move on to another very interesting?
Yeah, let's do that.
Santos and Whitaker have a bout, and something terribly interesting happens at the beginning of the encounter, but I want to talk about that at the end, because what we're left is the funny situation of Santos being forced to admit that she kind of likes having Huckleberry around. But Huckleberry is put in a position where she, because of the way she is, can't make that admission. And this clowns herself. What?
Yeah, I don't know why she can't admit it. Like, maybe it's she doesn't want to see this smug motherfucker, smile any wider. Yeah, because he's got her, right? He's got her dead to rights. He knows exactly what's up with her. And she doesn't want to admit
what really
it.
sucks about people like Santos is, like, they're very hard to get. And sometimes when you finally do get them, they won't fucking, like, that's not fair. I got you, sucker. Roll over and show me your belly, okay? I do it every fucking day. You doing it once a quarter ain't gonna hurt you, but she won't. Now,
yeah,
I think it's interesting, the thing that I alluded to. Well, no, I want to talk about this. That, like, also I think there's a little bit of the problem with Santos here is she walked in on day one wanting everyone to know that she's better than everyone and she's here to, like, set all the records at the hospital, and then she surprised Pikachu face that everyone is standoffish and weird with her. Yeah. She jumps into bed with the surgical resident and is surprised Pikachu face that, oh, this isn't a serious relationship that I can lean on in tough times. I'm being used as a sexual squeeze toy. I'm not sure what the ethics are on that also, but, whatever.
Can't be great.
And then, like, you think that Robbie is the one that got your back, and then he's taken off, and now you got Dr. Robo, whatever, trying to make you do a bunch of nerd shit. But this is a bunch of self-pitying martyr shit, just like Robbie's thing, right? Like, you are the architect. You architected all these problems. Except for busting.
Yeah.
But
Langden.
even then, like, as I recall, her busting Langden started off her just trying to, like, look underneath his fingernails because she was so pissed off at him countermanding her and saying, that's not how you do things. You should do this, or you're not qualified to do that procedure. Like, she took that as like gaslighting and attacking her. I don't think Langden thought that she was anything other than way too big for her britches until she came after his addiction. So, like, yeah, like, and I think that Garcia tried to tell her as much 2 episodes ago in the hallway, and she's just, it's so tough loving Santos, man. She's just such a hard person to love.
She is. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's there's enough blame to go around for everybody here, and I think Santos being hard to love is as much her fault as any perception that she's been screwed or, I don't know, gaslit or anything.
I'm going to keep this topic fun until we take it to a dark place, but I will say that I think the perfect solution here is I think Robbie and Santos should both move in to Robbie's swinging bachelor pad for the next 3 months, and that should be a spinoff. That should be a pure buddy comedy spinoff that they shoot in between the 2 seasons. How fun would that be? Farm boy and the lesbian.
Maybe by
this fall, huh?
Maybe by
maybe by.
Yeah.
Will she break? Will she break up with Garcia, or maybe it's bi thruple? Or okay. It's starting to get a little leering and indulgent here, but I do think I kind of thought that maybe that's what he had asked. It's like, well, you probably live in a shitty apartment to share with me. Like, what if we both move into his swinging bachelor party, and that pad would be awesome.
Yeah, I could see that. That'd be fun. We will never see it though on the show because we can't leave the hospital. But yeah,
I'm curious if you picked up on the dark thing that led to this conversation.
It's Santos looking in this drawer, and spying a scalpel and pocketing a scalpel. Crucially, when Whitaker comes rolling up, we've seen her in the bathroom a couple 9 episodes ago, however many.
Wow.
She's got cut marks on her legs. We know exactly what she's thinking here.
And the other thing is, like, I remember there's a discussion about whether those self-harm scars were, like, recent or faint, and I remember thinking they all look pretty faded, but, like, on one of the official podcasts, I think they talked about how the effects team went back and pinked up some of them to suggest that some of them were more recent. And I think that you have to understand her ranting and raving about Langden being a junkie, that you're just waiting to relapse, as self-loathing for the fact that she has this psychological addiction that she's probably shamed of and is not good. And she's stealing hospital supplies, apparently, to indulge in and relapse in that no one knows about. Like, that's got to be the worst hell when you hate a person for doing something that you yourself are doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's worse than a lot of the hypocrisies coming from some of the doctors who are broken, right? Because you can at least see that as an act of kindness and warning. But this is rough personally. This is a step below
and
that.
Again, she's doing a lot of it to herself because she talks about this place preaching about love and support. But like, your family can't help you if you're keeping your problems hidden. You know?
Yeah.
Like, if you act like you're not in pain and everybody continues treating you like, oh, it's Santos, bust her chops and make fun of her and get her when she can't. Like, that sucks, but like, you are the one doing it. And it did, on the second watch, it lended a lot of tragedy to the scene because, again, we talked about how funny it was and how Dr. J is like, oh, it gave me so much joy to see. But that fucking scalpel at the beginning really curdles it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Not looking forward to what's in her future next episode.
Towards the end, we find out from Dana as she's whipping the department. No, I guess Dana's whipping the department to hand off to the night switch, and I think Dr. Al comes by and says Westbridge and Good Dominion have settled. Apparently, they paid off the cyber terrorist, and their department feels really good about their cyber defenses, so they're preparing to start going back up. I feel like next episode are going to be things getting slowly back together, but they pointed out that there's so much paperwork now that the doctors are probably going to have to stay twice as long as they would anyway, just to make sure all that stuff gets put in, which kind of sucks. And then McKay has a final confrontation with Robbie where she's like, we know a little bit about her dark past. It's like, I used to hang around with people that chased the edge. The problem is most of the time they kept chasing, they found it. And Robbie has the temerity to be like, well, where are you going with this?
Yeah, he knows. I mean, literally everybody in this hospital is telling him. The patients who don't even know are coming in and saying things that are meaningful about it. Like, take a hit, dude.
And then finally, we have Joy versus Langdon. And Joy is 100% right. Like, one of the reasons this is fucked up is because the doctors are probably being taken advantage of by how much they care for the patient. If like more doctors would be like, well, the end of my shift, take off their stethoscope and their, and their scrubs and just head out to the door, it'd probably lead to people dying and then things would change. But then the doctor, like, but this is what it takes, right? And that's the other thing is like, I've definitely been the Joy in some of the, not every time, because sometimes I was young and stupid and I tried to bust my ass thinking that would get me ahead. But like, yeah, I've definitely come into places that were, and I'm a high performing individual. I don't mind that, but like, I'm not going to do a 12-hour day because you fucked up the planning, dude. This ain't my project. And it's like, it's all like you find it's like superpower because most of this stuff is not like in the corporate handbook. It's just like they guilt trip you into like, well, we're all doing this, so you should do it too. Good for Joy for saying, nah, fuck it. I'm out of here. I'm not even getting paid for this shit. I'm paying you for this shit.
Yeah, it's she's concerned about burnout is what she says. Like, hey, I don't want to burn out like so many of you are going to do. But there's a trade-off here, right? Because this is a capitalist-run facility, they're going to find the people they can squeeze the most productivity out of. And if you are the person who's saying, fuck it, I'm going home at 5 p.m. That's my scheduled time. Don't call me. Don't talk to me. But there's a dude over here who'll do the same job for the same price and also have his phone on him, ready to be called after hours at the drop of a hat, or stay an extra 30 minutes to get his charts done. He's going to get your job. Sorry. That's just because he's more productive. We can squeeze more out of that guy. So, I mean, there's absolutely a balance between burnout and doing what you got to do within that system to stay a freaking doctor. Like, you're going to have to, you're charting your own path here if this is the stand you want to take. And I'm all for taking that stand. I think that's what everyone should do. But you have to have a system where everyone says what Joy is saying for
That's
Joy to be able to say what she's saying and actually have them honor it.
That's why we have unions, right? Like, because you can
100%.
always have the weak person who's going to break it. But if everyone can stand united, then you got the collective bargaining power. And it's weird because like most nurses are in a union. And I don't understand how they get fucked over so much. And working in maybe some nurses can, or maybe it's not nationwide, or maybe it's individual states or cities or something. I don't know why they have seemingly so little bargaining power in these situations. Doctors, I think, are just feel like they're the highly skilled professionals that can't possibly dilute their labor with a pool of other fucking physicians. Oh my God, I might not get paid what I deserve. But like nurses, I feel like most of them are unionized. So why are they getting fucked over so bad? Why are their unions so maybe it's just because of because unions are only, I guess, as powerful as the overall negotiating position of their employee base is. But like as hospitals close and nurses get squeezed for more and more shift, isn't their labor more? I don't understand what's the breakdown here.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm curious if anyone is part of a union or runs a union. I doubt they're listening to this podcast, but
are you a Teamster? Do you know where Jimmy Hoffa is buried? If so, call the Pitt at baldmove.com, which is not a phone number. Anyway.
Yeah, I would love to know, though. I would love to have a discussion about that because it is very interesting.
Because I remember like back in the day, in the early aughts, there was some people rabble rousing in the programmer circles about how the developers should unionize, because a lot of we were getting fucked over a lot. I think we could go back to the late 90s and early aughts and see things we could have done, but almost every programmer was like insulted by the idea. You think that you could put me into a group and I couldn't and meanwhile all of them are like, everyone in that position are probably getting paid within $5,000-$6,000 of each other. So it's like, wow, your independent negotiation and your brilliant skill set has really put you ahead in the marketplace of ideas here. But I don't know, I've been a podcaster for 15 years. What the fuck do I know?
We got a weird relationship with unions in this country.
Yeah, well, they kind of are the trolley problem. They're the switch, right? Unions are the things that keep companies from just running over to 5 employees, and that's what you do to maximize your money. So it's the one thing that's acting as a baffle for the rest of where the country's going. And we've done our job in the last decade or two, last generation or so, really brought those evil unions to heel. So thank God someone did something about it. I think that's it. I think we got to the end, Jim.
Yeah. Think so.
All right. We have a feedback line. I just shouted it out as a phone number, but it's the Pit at baldmove.com. If you'd like to send us there, Jim has been integrating that feedback into our commentary. If you would like to get the Pit and more Bald Move stuff, but 100% less commercials and other things. For example, we're going to watch The Lost Boys with our community tonight on our Discord channel. That is going to be a trip. I remember the podcast we did on it like a decade ago. That sounds like a lot of fun, something you'd like to get in on, go to support.baldmove.com. Real easy. You can get instant access. Shit, you can just show up at 10 o'clock tonight, and it'll be the all Kiefer, all vampire, all Corey Feldman. Is it Corey Feldman? Or is it the other guy?
And Hames. It's both.
Both. Oh shit! You got the whole team back together. Appreciate everyone's support. Support of our community in advance. Support.baldmove.com. We'll be back next week. We got 3 more hours to go. Will Robbie make it out of here? Will he smash his head in with those buffaloes? Will Santos? Like, that's the other thing. Is like Santos has not relapsed yet. I hope that they tell the story of her returning that to supply, or as Dana says, waste it. Like I hope we see her in the bathroom and she finds the strength, if nothing else, so she can just with a clean conscience roast Roscoe P. Langdon, because she can't keep doing it. It's not going to be as much fun if she is relapsing while she is accusing him of being a relapser.
I think she's going to take that scalpel, try to go after Langdon, stab him right in the heart, but he's got a pack of benzos in his pocket and it saves him. It is.
Yeah, joke's on you. My stolen benzos block your stolen scalpel.
You can't report me.
That's
I'll
going to do it
report
for
you.
the pit.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for the pit. We'll see you next week. Until then, I'm your host, Aaron.
And I'm Jim.
See ya.